Taurus, what's up? This is your June 1st through the 15th Oracle and Tarot reading 2020. This is Mary with Seer. Thank you for stopping by. If you would like to book a reading, the information is in the description box. Also, to donate, I have my jewelry on at least 4 different platforms. You can go into the description box, and those are all my stores, okay? Sayre, the regular, my website is a place you'd want to book readings, and there's lots of product there. So I just we ask that as small business owners, we've been hit really hard. I'm sure a lot of you have also. We just ask that you consider buying from somebody local or a small business and when you're buying gifts or, anything you need. Okay, let's do this. We're going to start with just see what comes out. It's kind of this current situation, right? Okay, King of Pentacles. Dun, 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 dun. Well, it looked like somebody's in their power. Could be any earth sign. It could be you, Virgo, or Capricorn. Okay, I'm accomplished. You're accomplished. You got stuff. Good father, good. I mean, it's a masculine energy, so. But even if you're a female, you're accomplished. You've gotten to a point in your life where you're comfortable. You have your grandkids. You're probably have a relationship. Okay. You're steady, strong, reliable. And kind of looking around saying, I did this. It's good. It's good. Okay, and I got the Hanging Man. So we have the Hanging Man is about maybe something's been happening, where something needs to change. Maybe it's time to start looking at things from a different perspective. Let's see why that may be the case, Taurus. Ace of Swords, because there's some truth. This is truth and victory. Victory in the truth. So what's been going on? Let's see. These are great cards, though. Awesome cards. Hanging Man is just like working on, maybe walking in, somebody wants to walk in their truth more. Yep. Nine of Cups reversed because maybe, I don't know, there's this thing about Nine of Cups upright is the wish card, getting like wish fulfillment. Maybe you strive to get all these things, to education and property and this certain job and all this, and it still didn't make somebody happy. And somebody's looking at this going, I should be happy. Why am I not happy? Like the system, somebody told me, or everybody says, if you do this, you'll be happy. If you get married or you find whatever person, you just stabilize your life, you'll be happy. But is that true, Taurus? Seven of Swords. Are we deceiving ourselves? Were we all deceiving ourselves thinking that if we followed other people's instructions, that would lead to our happiness? Or were we deceived by them and ourselves? Seven of Swords is about deception and thievery. It's about not seeing all the information because somebody's holding it back. Somebody's holding something back. Bottom of the deck. Page of Swords. It's an infiltrator. It's a spy. It's somebody that's somewhere for the wrong reasons. Okay? Interesting. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to get a little bit of advice from our angels and ancestors. Okay, Medicine Mother, honor your inner knowing. So Medicine Mother, so there's a couple things here. It's your inner knowing, your intuition. And I know that's not always easy for some people, is listening to their intuition, especially when we've been like focused on the 3D. It's like, if I can't see it, it doesn't exist. Man, I used to say that for sure. But I've been schooled. That's why I'm here. Okay, so Medicine Mother talks about, so if your mother is alive, it could be some healing with your own mother. Also, if she's not, it could be them, your mother kind of coming through, giving you some information. So from the other side, one of the main themes of this card is there's things that you know you should have been doing. It's like either you should have stopped doing something a while back, or you should have been doing something. So it's like you know that this thing needs to be released, whether it's your excuses for not doing something, whether it's alcohol, drinking a lot, or self-deception, not being honest about your actions, or not being honest about how unhappy you really are. But in the stability, this great stability that you built, okay? And not being honest about maybe talking to other people on the side, or somebody is, about what you think is going on, or what deception is going on, not being honest about that. And she says she knows, Mother knows best, and you know it's time for this change, okay? It's, anyway, I'll leave it there. We'll do another card. Spirit Fox says, trust your talents in changing times. So you say, but I've always been this way. How can I change? What can I do? That's the right question. What can you do? How can you change? Well, it starts with being the hangman, being the hanging man. It starts with, how am I looking at this? What am I seeing? It starts with just kind of looking at everything. You know, if you're in the position like what's been happening in the world, where you were established and everything is upsetting your job, your stability, then that's tough. It's like, what can I do? Then thinking on your feet as a spirit fox. This is trust your talents in changing times. What can you do now? What can you do? What kind of skills do you have? We never said this jobs were going to last forever. Things change, especially if we're 50 years old. We've seen a lot of change, right? Nothing seems to change the same, but we have skills. We can do other things. We can be other things. Medicine Mother says, you know you needed to make the change. Now it's kind of being forced upon you. This is the truth. There is victory in the change. There is victory. Maybe end up better than ever. Better than ever. Because we won't be living in somebody else's deception, including ourselves. But how did we get there, you see? You don't get there from nowhere. We get there because we were shown this, because we bought into it somehow, because we didn't look at the truth, okay? But now it's right in front of somebody here. Right in front of somebody, and cannot be denied. Okay, we're going to get a few more cards. Oh no, I think I'm using Today, there is an urgency in the readings. Today, there's an urgency to just get moving. Get this. No more waiting. No more waiting. No more waiting. No more excuses. I just did Pisces. It was the same way. It's like bam, bam, bam. Let's move it. Move it. Enough sitting in that old energy. That's just what's coming through. It's the way, like some of the readings come out kind of slow, and I'm like, just like the camera was rolling slow. So funny. All right. Seven of Swords. Yeah, let's get past this. Let's catch ourselves when we're lying to ourselves, betraying ourselves, okay? Seven of Swords reversed. So we have it here. This is active. This is catching ourselves, catching somebody. So when it's not the truth, you call it, whether it's you or someone else. It's both. I can feel that. It's both. And enough. You can't live in your truth and allow this to go on around you. You can't. Can't get what you want that way. Just leads to more unhappiness. Unhappiness. And when we're unhappy and we're not dealing with it, we overindulge. We find ourselves doing actions that aren't becoming of us. that don't inspire us to greatness. It inspires us to spiraling down. Two of Pentacles reverse, it's about loss. When we don't make the decisions, feel like so we don't identify, we choose not to identify what we know we should. Then we have loss because the right decision wasn't made. Two of Pentacles, we don't drop things when we should have. So we are the ones that get dropped sometimes, huh? Yeah, whether it's financial loss, whether it's allowing something to fall apart instead of just making the choice. It's easier when we make the choice ahead of time. Then you have control. Ace of Swords reverse. And this guy's about control. But it's more than just that. It's emotionally. It comes in all forms. To come in as a Taurus and so grounded. Once we master that, there's other things to master too. Because life isn't all just one thing. I don't know who that's for. But because if we don't make the decisions, we're not living in truth. Look at that. It's the Ace of Swords reversed. So this is no truth, no victory where we've been, right? I mean, it isn't the way it's feeling, even though we're established. There's something here that needs to be looked at right in the face. Ace of Cups. And there's no new start in love. There's no self-love if we're not facing what our own truths are. If we don't even know what they are. This is a great time. All of us are reevaluating. It's pretty huge. Your sign is going retrograde if you're not already for a while. And it's in Gemini, all that thinking, all that communication. I believe it's still in Gemini. Could be wrong, but. So then we have the Nine of Pentacles. So now this is a single person. And maybe this is what's happening. We were established, you were the husband, you were the dad, and now, I don't know, you're looking at being single again. And or you were the wife, but you were established. And you felt like you had your life in order. And then there was truth about something you didn't want and some kind of deception. But the Nine of Pentacles here is saying one can be successful single. One can have their life single. And then wait for the right person if you still want that. It's a choice. It's not a requirement to build things. Not if you can do it on your own. Not if you can give yourself what you think you're lacking and have to have in another. Then you can have dates that are fun. Life that's fun. And not a chore. And not when you're holding back because you can't speak it. In maybe when we're worried about upsetting someone, you can speak from your truth. That Taurus is about the throat. You should always speak your truth. Four of Cups. Now you can see what you haven't been able to see before. And that's huge. That's the difference between a happy life and living in an illusion, right? But it's amazing when we start seeing the truth, how much we realize that we bought into it, whatever that was. Okay? Okay, we're going to do the enchanted map now. So we have solitude here, reversed. So I'm going to read this one for you. It's a 13. 13 is about death and rebirth. Too much solitude results in isolation and separation. Now is the moment to get together with friends and join the merriment. Hiding out will lead to loneliness and negative thinking. Separation at this time isn't not a healthy choice. Are you in a situation in which you feel alone? You need to share this, not keep it to yourself. By joining in with others, you'll hear what you need to know because Spirit finds a way to speak through them without their even knowing it. You have the key to let yourself out of this prison. You are loved and never alone. And there you go. We should never be so lonely to be in a relationship and feel alone. That means that there's communication needed at the minimum, And your emotions, feelings, views matter. So they matter. And you need to matter enough to feel confident in speaking them. Okay, we'll get one more card here. Take the bottom. Gentle Gardener. I'm going to read that one too. It's a number 2. Do you harbor resentment? How often do you reinforce negativity by affirming lack and limitation? Every time you send out a desire for something but secretly harbor a belief that you're undeserving of it, you plant weeds in the field of your dreams. When the gentle gardener appears in a reverse position, she reminds you to be aware of any negative thoughts or selfish motives. She encourages you to step back and pay close attention to what thought seeds you send out into the world. Weeds choke the life out of your beautiful garden. No need to fret, however, because once you recognize this, you can always remove a bad seed and replace it with a healthy one. Forgiveness is your most powerful restorative tool. And most of all, forgiving yourself for feeling like you weren't enough. Because that's just not true, Taurus. You're more. You're so much more than you've given yourself credit for. And you deserve all the good things that are here for all of us. So I love you very much. Take care.